Hola.
Let you know we were live.
Yeah, it says live right now.
Okay.
Hello, YouTube.
I don't think anybody's in there right now. Let's see. It's Twitter. There we go.
Congratulations to everyone from what has been a tremendous high school season to this point. And Greg, from the girls' tournament, we were here and talked about giving Greg set the stage and wrote some exciting night at the team film at Greg for the state. We understand it. We also have a little format that took place in the girls' tournament. If you can explain to everyone what's a little bit different about this time around with boys' tournament. Absolutely, again, for those who follow the team for the girls, we're aware of the format change. In fact, we kind of went through that.
Talking about the format change now.
Yeah,
We've already covered that.
we've already covered it. I screwed it up, but we've already covered it. All right, do I need to record something here? Hold on a second. Yeah, I need to record. All right, ready? 3, 2. All right, guys, welcome to Courtside Indiana podcast. We're going to do kind of 2 separate recordings here. We're going to have the 1A and 2A reactions. I've got Kyler Staley with me. Dominique Neely is here. The 3 of us are going to give our real-time reactions to the draws as they come across. I believe they go in order: 1A, 2A, 3A, 4A. I think we'll have a quick pause after the 2A draw. That will be a separate recording, and then there will be a 3 and 4A draw. And then, if you're in our YouTube room, you're hearing this. Thanks for coming in, guys. How are you?
Doing well. Watching Zach's game on TV here. With the draw up as well.
Yeah, Zach's in Nashville, Tennessee, watching the U.S. women's national team with his daughter. I mean, I guess kids come first. I don't know.
It's a touchy subject during sessional drawings. I mean,
it's kind of one of those things. I don't know if I'd probably miss this. So right now, the IHSA tournament draw show is being streamed on ihsatv.org.com .org. So if you're interested in actually watching the draw, again, I don't know that anybody's in the chat room yet. I don't know if we'll have anybody in the chat room, really. I mean, if you're interested enough to listen to us, you're probably going to be watching it on TV. So this may be a non-issue, but nevertheless, this last year is when we had the big belly dancer, the naked belly dancer thing.
Glad I missed that.
It was interesting. So I put the link to our Zoom room. in the on Twitter, and the bots took over. It was not ideal. I think there's enough of us that we decided not to get coaches. Or I decided not to get coaches this year because most of the ones we want to talk to are with their team. I guess we could have done a post-draw recording. I don't know what the interest there would have been with you guys. But right now the IHSA is in commercial. I may try to edit some of this out. You never know. Maybe not. I'm going to get the feed up here and see if we can't somehow get. Uh-oh. There we go. Sorry about that. I was trying to get the feed up my computer, and I don't know if we're going to be able to share screen or not. See if that works. I don't think it's going to work the way I want it to. Oh yeah, it might. Yeah, it might work the way I want it to. We'll see.
2-hour show, right?
Yeah, they've got Nighting up. Now I forgot we could have had a little bit more leeway time before we started. They probably won't start pulling names out of the hat until 5:15, which is 8 minutes from now.
We're just so excited. We're just
we are excited.
so
Well,
fired up.
okay. Well, let's do this. Let's talk about what are some things we're looking for. Like for me, in narrative wise, I'm interested in the kids I coach and the sectional draws they're going to have and how brutal some of them are. I mean, the Carmel sectional is always brutal. You've got my guy Jake Cherry. His sectionals is Brownstown, Providence, Pekin Eastern. All those teams are having wonderful years. Landon Beagle at Oak Hill. I know Kyler has already declared that sectional at Oak Hill back in November.
It's a wrap.
It's a wrap. Easy sectional, he said.
It's a wrap.
Our instant reaction was, whoa, wait a minute. And then like Greenfield, Dylan Moles, Greenfield sectional, or I don't know where it's at Muncie Central. It's loaded this year. Richmond was down last year. They're good this year. Muncie Central is definitely improved from last year. Then you've got Anderson, Pendleton Heights, Mount Vernon, despite graduating damn near everybody, has a really talented group of freshmen and sophomores, and they are and they're good. I mean, Greenfield's having a great year. They are 19-1. All those teams in that sectional, except for Pendleton, are having really good years. So
New
that type
Pal.
of stuff. Yeah, New Pal. Evansville Wrights, kid, Coach Isaac Higgs down there. That's never. I mean, those guys are rivals. They beat up on each other all year long. So that's the type of stuff I'm looking forward to. Any particular draw you're looking forward to, guys?
I would just say just around my area. I follow the whole state, but I try to cover Fort Wayne since I'm here, obviously. But like the Carroll sectional, there's really two teams, right? Northside and Carroll. I mean, Northrup's won 4 games, Snyder's won 3, East Noble's won 3, DeKalb's won 5. Right. So just where are those guys? Are they going to play the first night, or are they going to, see where that matches up? And then kind of the same thing at Homes, or at this one's at where's this one at? Same thing at Columbia City. Wayne and Homestead are probably the two. Columbia City's having a decent year, but Wayne and Homestead are definitely probably the two favorites. So are they going to meet right away, or kind of see where that draw lands up there? So those are some of the things I'm looking at. Fort Wayne area.
You guys keep talking. I'm going to test some stuff out here. Go ahead, Kyler.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm always curious to see where sectional 8 and sectional 10. I mean, arguably the two toughest sectionals in the state. I always like to see where they kind of shake out. I always look at the Southern Indiana teams. I always love seeing how their sectionals always shake out. I have a special place in my heart for Southern Indiana teams. So we'll see that. I always just enjoy to see how that's gonna go. And then this year, especially for me, looking at all like the teams that have Indiana targets that I use recruiting. So because of course I got to cover all them and everything. But overall, I'm just excited. I love sectional time.
I just thought I'm testing our screen sharing, wondering if maybe I should check to see if we're violating copyrights by sharing the actual the actual stream on our feed. Again, I don't think anybody's in here watching what we're doing.
You need to get a lawyer to join the room.
Well, the intention is just to show the brackets as they come across. So that's the intention. I don't know that it's necessary. We can read them as they come across. If I start seeing people show up in our room, then maybe we can change it up a little bit. But they are now at a commercial break.
Hey, are we gonna figure out on this pairing show where like semi-state locations and all that, or do we know that already?
We won't know the actual. I mean, we know where they're going to be. We just don't know who's going to be where, like what path is going to be. They'll do the same thing they did before, which is they'll determine who goes where for semi-state based on who actually gets through regionals, if that makes sense. They're going to
Yeah.
draw it. They're going to draw sectionals and regionals today. And then they're going to come back on the 12th, March 12th, I think is the date, whatever that Sunday is, and have another pairing show for the semi-state. And that's when they'll reveal locations. I don't know if they'll reveal locations like usually, the last few years where we know where the semi-states are going to be by the time we go to bed on Saturday night after regionals.
That's right.
I think they're probably going to wait and reveal it. They're probably going to wait and reveal it at the draw on March 12th. But the 4 north locations, for example, are Elkhart, Michigan City, Lafayette, Jeff, and Huntington North. Or no, Lafayette, Jeff, and Logansport. Maybe it's Huntington North and Logansport. Anyway, I guess it just depends on who gets out of the regionals. As to where they'll go. Like, for example, if Carmel gets out of the regional, you could probably bet they'll be at, Lafayette, Jeff, or Logansport. They won't make them drive all the way up to Elkhart, or same with Kokomo. Trying to think of teams. Anybody that comes out of that Carmel sectional, if they get through the regional, you'd imagine they would be paired up. I don't know. It just depends. There's always such a kerfuffle about distance traveled for semi-states. That's just nature of the beast. The deeper you get in the tournament, the fewer teams play, the longer they got to drive for the most part.
Oh, here we go, Jim.
1A, sectional 49, Couts plays Washington Township, Tri plays Morgan Township, Hammond Science and Technology gets the winner of the Couts Washington Township game, DeMott Christian gets the winner of Tri Morgan Township. Anything there?
Setting up for a nice championship there. Couts and Morgan Township on opposite sides.
Absolutely.
Couts has been able to keep it maintained, huh?
Yeah, they're tough, man. I watched the Couts and Morgan Township game.
Morgan Township is undefeated among sectional teams. They're also undefeated in class at 7-0. So yeah, I guess that's the case. That's sectional 49.
I mean, Morgan Township might have trouble with DeMont Christian. I don't know if they played them already this year or not. Doesn't look like it.
Yeah, DeMott Christian.
They have not.
DeMott Christian is 3-1 against sectional teams, but they've not played Morgan Township.
No, so that'll be interesting.
Morgan Township. I mean, Couts is solid, but Morgan Township's been awfully good.
That's their section to lose or to win, however you want to put it.
They're moving on now to sectional 50. Trinity Greenlawn versus Culver Academy or Culver Community. The winner gets Oregon Davis. Triton versus Argos. And then they get the winner of Marquette Catholic versus Westville. It looks like most of the powers on the south part of the bottom part of the bracket, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Give me Argos there. I think they come out of that one.
I mean, we're not doing pick'ems yet.
Are we not?
I mean, you could say it, but you're picking Oak Hill for sectional 23. You can't back out of that.
Yeah.
You can't back out of that. Yeah, right now, we're gonna do a separate pick'em pod next week. That'll test Zach and Dominique's parenting skills.
I think we're testing it enough today.
Are we? Yeah. Well, you'd be watching this anyway. Next week is the week. Next week is the challenge. You'd be sitting at your desk or your den or wherever you watch TV, watching this game or watching this show anyway. I know I would. Argos 5-0 in sectional against sectional foes. Now we're moving to sectional 51. We've got Hamilton versus Bethany Christian in round 1. The winner plays Elkhart Christian. That's one half. The top half, it's only a 5-team sectional. Lakewood Park Christian versus Lakeland Christian. Feels like Hamilton's being thrown to the Lions here, right? It's because of all the Christian. They're 0-16. Wow,
Yeah,
they're 0
so
16. Everybody else is a Christian team, so it's Hamilton being thrown to the Lions is effectively what we've got.
Poor
Lakeland
Hamilton
Christian,
doesn't get a bye.
yeah, no doubt. Lakeland Christian seems to be the class of this sectional. 17-4. They're
And
4-1
Bethany.
against. Yeah, they're 12-3 against 1A teams. Bethany Christian's 8-3 against 1A teams. Stuff like that, I think, comes into play. Looks like Bethany Christian might play a tougher schedule. Moving on, they're moving quickly now. 52, the West Central sectional. Frontier Caston, the winner gets Tri-County. West Central versus South Newton, the winner gets North White. No team in this sectional is over 500.
It's rough.
Well, welcome to class basketball, baby. Frontier, of course, all these record stuff we're getting off John Harrell's site. So thankfully he does
Yeah, thank you
yeoman's
for all that
work
you
of
do.
keeping that up to date. Frontier's 4-1 against sectional foes, 7-4. Tri-County 6-4 against class 1A teams. Frontier's 7-4.
Man, they got the top 3 teams on the top half of the bracket.
They're moving pretty quick here. Jeez.
They are Southwood sectional. Fort Wayne Canterbury, Southern Wells. The winner gets Smith Academy. Then the other semifinal game, it's a 5-team sectional. Northfield versus Southwood. Again, no team above 500. We're going to have 2 teams get to the regionals. At least 2 teams get to the regionals with sub 500 records.
That's a toss. Sectional 53 is a toss up. Pick your poison there.
I mean, that's the most polite thing you could say about it. I mean, look, Southwood, they're 3-0 against sectional foes. They're 3-0 against 1A teams. That means they've scheduled up most of the year. I give them maybe an edge. I don't know. Fountain Central sectional 54. Attica versus Fountain Central. The winner gets North Vermilion. Clinton Central versus Faith Christian. The winner gets Rossville. Fountain Central is probably the class of that sectional. Attica is definitely not the class that Attica is really hitting a tough road here. They've been bad for a few years. I don't know what's going on there. Again, only one team in that sectional with a winning record.
You got Rossville at 11-11.
Yeah, and they always schedule up, so they could always jump up and sneak in and beat somebody. Sectional 55, Tri Central versus Anderson Prep. The winner gets Daleville. Liberty Christian versus Cowan, the other half of that bracket. You know, Liberty Christian, some interesting wins for them, some interesting losses for them. Their best win of the year, they beat where is it? They beat Westfield 50-48. You know, but then they've got some really bad losses, and I don't know what to do with that.
Man, that's
Now we got
sectional 55 is interesting.
sectional 56 is at Tri versus Blue River. Winner gets Union Modoc. The other half of the bracket is Cambridge City versus Randolph Southern. The winner plays Union City versus Seton Catholic. A little bit more balanced in this one. Surprised that Seton Catholic is 10-3 or 10-13. Blue River seems to have the best record among sectional teams as far as like against sectional opponents. But you know,
2
a lot of
best
these
teams
dudes,
on the first night here.
yeah, probably Tri and Blue River. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I can see Seton Catholic though making it to the championship.
I think that's always the biggest like issue with people that want seeding is they don't want the best 2 teams playing night 1.
I get it, but it's just for me, and I guess we could, you know, this could, you know, this definitely be something we talk about sometime. But for me, it's one of those deals, and now they're going to go to a commercial, so we got some time to address it. it's just not a big enough sample size at the sectional level. You're delaying that matchup by what, a couple of days?
Yeah. Yeah.
Is it that important? I mean, we're going to have. I mean, it played out other than Fountain Central getting the bye in their sectional. It played out to where they're the best team in that sectional record wise by a good amount, and they're playing Attic on the first night. I don't think that's a game we even need to see.
Yeah, I like the way it is now. I like the draw a lot.
Kyler, what do you think? I mean, people have been adamant about seeding the sectional. I mean, how would you seed the Carmel sectional?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'm not a big fan of seeding the sectional. I think that's what makes sectional fun, is not the seeding. It is a question though, especially when you look at the Cardinals sectional. I don't know how you would do that, especially with the uneven teams. With each sectional, it's kind of hard, but if
it's just the difference isn't what, a better matchup on Friday or Saturday versus Tuesday, Wednesday, depending on how many teams you've got.
Right. I think it just takes the fun out of it. I mean, feeding it, I just think it would take the fun out of it.
I think if you're a lower team, or a team that's maybe like a middling team, a team that was good but not great. If you got two really good teams in your sectional, I think it gives you a chance to realize you may only have to play one of them to win a sectional. I think it allows for more upsets. Certainly, allows for more upsets coming out of or heading into the regionals. Doesn't always make for great regional action, but you're looking at it from that point of view.
Sharing some pictures on here of different teams.
Yeah, I'm waiting for them to come show my house. my mess of a house right now.
I always like to see where teams are gathering.
Owen Valley looks like they're in there at the school. I would think.
Hagerstown, Owen Valley, in their auditorium.
Yeah, couldn't get
Come
the
on,
word
man.
out.
Somebody needs to step up. I need to see more pizza boxes, Owen Valley. Let's go. There needs to be some more pizza boxes there.
Hagerstown was at a pizza joint, weren't they? Or something?
Yeah, they were.
Like.
Yeah, absolutely.
Bar Reeve was at some kind of bar and grill, it looked like.
That's probably a family section. Well, they do things different down there. All right, we're still in 1A. We're moving now to sectional 57. They're back from commercial break. This
Southern
is at White
Indiana,
River,
baby. Let's go.
That's right. It's White River Valley, Shakamak versus Lighthouse Christian. The winner gets North Central Farmersburg. The other half of the bracket is WRV versus Union Duggar, or Duggar Union. Is that what they're going by now? Bloomfield plays Clay City.
Ooh,
Bloomfield is the class of this sectional, but
that's a fun first game right there.
What, Shakamak and Lighthouse?
No.
No.
Bloomfield, Clay City.
Bloomfield, Clay City.
Oh, Bloomfield, Clay City. Yeah, the two top teams. Again, it's going to be a good Wednesday night game. Basically,
Mac and Lighthouse Christian's pretty good too.
Yeah, there's 4 teams in this sectional that have good records.
I mean, North Central, did a good job getting that bye there. That's probably
But
going
I
to help
think,
a little bit.
but Bloomfield, I think, has played the tougher schedule.
Oh yeah.
Moving on to sectional 58 at Indiana Def. Interesting. Location there. Bethesda Christian versus Deaf School. The winner plays IMSA, which is Indiana Math and Science Academy. The other half is International versus Traders Point. The winner gets Indianapolis Metropolitan. Bethesda Christian, Traders Point, best records. IMSA right there too. Those 3 schools are over 500. The other 3 schools are sub 500. Bethesda is 8-1 against 1A teams. Traders Point's 10-2.
Metro probably played a tougher schedule.
But Bethesda's got some good wins, man.
Yeah,
They definitely have some good wins.
I just watched Metro last night a little bit at Linton Stockton. Got beat pretty good, but
they they've got a lot of good wins on their docket, including wins over Heritage Christian. They've beaten Covenant Christian earlier in the year. No, they didn't. My fault. They beat Greenwood Christian twice. Nope, they lost them once. Who was it? Oh, they beat Tipton. That's who their other win was. Sectional 59 at Lutheran. Eminence, the Eels baby, play Providence Crystal Ray. The winner gets Indianapolis Lutheran. The other half is Tinley versus Greenwood Christian. The winner gets Victory College Prep.
Lutheran with a great draw.
Lutheran got a great draw.
That's a great one.
You know, they won this thing last year. They've not had the year I kind of thought they would, but they have scheduled up. Tinley losing to Pinkstons. I know we're through a whole season now. They've gone young this year. You know, I've not seen them play yet this year. That may be something I'd try to do this week. But just to see Dejon Hall, how he's doing. But Greenwood Christian is typically tough. You know, that could go either way. There's a lot of parity. These schools really don't play each other during the year.
Yeah, fantastic draw by Lutheran.
Sectional 60. This one gets interesting. South Decatur versus Edinburgh. The winner gets Oldenburg Academy. Jacksonville versus Southwestern Shelby. Waldron. They play the winner of Waldron versus Morristown. I say it was interesting. I guess not as good. I mean, Edinburgh has not had the record I thought they would. Jacksonville's not had the record I thought they would coming into this year. I mean, I thought we all thought pretty highly of Edinburgh coming into the year, didn't we?
Yeah.
I mean, they're 7-4.
Top 10.
Yeah, they're 7-4 against 1A teams. Jacksonville 7-1. Waldron 10-11. They're 8-4 against 1A teams. You know, you look at the sectional matchup, so they play each other. There's a good amount of parity in this draw.
Well, it looks like South Decatur is the only team that's beaten Edinburgh in the sectional. So for those guys to start off against, pretty interesting.
Yep. Sectional 61, West Washington versus Borden. The winner gets South Central Elizabeth. The other half is Rock Creek Academy versus Christian Academy. The winner gets Lanesville. Borden, South Central, Christian Academy, all with pretty impressive records. Rock Creek, they have the talent to win it. They've got the size with Marielle Dipper. They've also got the Threet kid. They've got a couple of good guards, but they have a pretty low record. They're 6-13, but they've played a lot of bigger schools. They've definitely scheduled up, so their record may be a little deceiving.
They got
Christian Academy. Go ahead.
I'd say Rock Creek's got James County, Bloomington South, Connersville, Concordia, Harrison, Providence, Jeffersonville. I mean, yeah, they're peaking. I mean, they've definitely got a good schedule.
They schedule up. Christian Academy has Josh Renfro, probably the best talent in that, probably the best talent in that sectional. It's either him or Dipper, one or the other. Marielle, baby. Marielle Dipper.
How tall is he?
7 feet.
Dang.
Just super thin. Good kid. Puts in a lot of work. You'd like to figure out how he's going to put on and maintain weight. But
another sectional here at New Washington with no one over 500.
Yep, no one over 500 in the New Washington sectional. Shaw Memorial plays New Washington. The winner gets Trinity Lutheran. Rising Sun versus Medora. The winner gets Crothersville. Like Dominique said, nobody in this sectional is over 500, so we're going to have at least 3 teams in the regional with sub 500 records. New Washington, Trinity Lutheran, Rising Sun all have 1 loss against sectional teams. None of them were great against 1A teams. Nothing stands out schedule-wise as far as like maybe any of them scheduled up. Doesn't look like it.
Rising Sun's probably the favorite in that lower half. I mean, looks like they got an easier route.
Yeah.
Good luck picking this one.
That's the bad. I mean, that's just the bad thing about class basketball is you get some of these sectionals. I mean, I know anybody could easily accuse me or any of us being biased, but I'll get to that point here in a minute. Sectional 63. This is a good one. Vincent Rivet versus Lagodi. The winner gets Bar Reeve, who drew the bye. The bottom half is Springs Valley versus Washington Catholic. The winner plays Shoals versus Orleans. I mean, Orleans got what they wanted. And if this was seeded out, this is exactly how it would be seeded, right? Lagodi and Bar Reeve would be in one half, and Orleans would be in the other.
Absolutely.
Right.
And they may not,
What?
Sure they'd rather play, Vincent Rivet or Washington Catholic instead of Springs Valley, but or instead of Shoals, the Jug Rocks, but that's how it goes.
Looks like
Lagodi
Orleans beat Shoals by 13 points earlier this season.
Yeah,
We'll say-
I was going to say that 1A state final game last year was just bad basketball, and it was not a great game. It was a rock fight basically, and both those teams are really good. Especially for 1A teams, but I just think it's the bad thing about class basketball is it's going to produce some rough matchups. Sectional 64. Wood Memorial Sectional, they open up against Evansville Christian. The winner gets Tecumseh. And then Candleton on the bottom half plays Evansville Day. The winner gets Northeast Du Bois. I bailed on a chance to go see Evansville Christian Saturday against Noblesville. Too much work on trying to lay my damn flooring, but I definitely
close,
wanted,
was it?
No, it ended up Noblesville won pretty easily. Record wise, there's a lot of parity here, but Evansville Christian scheduled up. They're undefeated against sectional teams. They're 7-2 against 1A teams. They're 7-7 against the rest of the state. It doesn't make them impenetrable, but they got Josiah Dunham. They definitely had the best player in the sectional, so that's a plus.
Josiah Dunham, man.
Yeah,
Love his game.
No, back to the point I was making earlier. That the 1A game last year was just not. It was not good. Neither team shot the ball well. And even if the idea is both teams defended well, which is probably true. It's situations where those guys weren't as talented. Maybe, there's not enough talent on the floor. I mean, Mullins obviously can go out and get whatever shot he wants most of the time.
Easy, Jams, easy. Those North
that?
Davies fans
Well,
down there. Hey,
Yeah, bring the smoke. No, I mean,
Bring it.
it was a
bring
rock
it.
fight.
no, I agree with you.
There have been other games. There have been was a couple years ago. Silver Creek versus Culver Academy was a rock fight.
Yeah.
You don't want to see games like what Cathedral did in Chesterton, but at the same time, you for the most part the 4A game has been pretty dynamic. I mean, Chesterton, they just couldn't throw it in the ocean. But you could see too what a team like Cathedral could do to them. Yeah, actually, they're on a commercial break now, so they're going to come back with 2A.
Man, they went by-
Yeah, I did. I was gonna say it looks like Ileana Christian and Gary 21st are I think they'll start there, sectional 33.
Yeah.
Looks like they're the class of that sectional.
When they go from 2A to 3A, I'm going to stop the recording, but we're going to stay in the same room. I don't know what that won't do anything to our live room.
They don't have a decent break, or
no, there won't be. There'll be the same type of. It'll just be a commercial.
okay.
They might do some things They might whatever they do between 2 and 3A is what they're about ready to do now.
Okay.
I don't have the audio on, so I don't know what Coach Lovell's saying. He's reading something.
I say next year we do some cross branding and they have us on the show.
Cross branding.
Yeah.
We better grow we better grow the podcast way more before we can anticipate people asking us. Jeff Andrews, Wapahani, the Andrews brothers.
South Ripley coming in someone's garage. I think I'm a little ahead of you.
Yeah, you are a South
I'm way
Ripley.
behind on you guys.
I don't know where Sevy's having that stuff at. I can text him real quick. We could probably get him in here. Coach Beach the younger. Uh-oh. We got people. Somebody's in here. Neil's on wheels saying, "Let's go, Kyler."
Oh, well, that's
Isaac.
Kyler fan.
Steve Isaac saying, "Let's ready for a good draw." Here we go. Sectional 33. Sectional 33. Gary 21st Century versus Whiting. The winner gets Andrean. The bottom half is Bowman Academy versus Gary Lighthouse. North Newton versus Ileana Christian. They play the winner of North Newton versus Ileana Christian. That's the two best teams in the opposite bracket. I mean, yeah,
Pretty
sure,
much.
that's what we want. That's what we want,
Yeah.
right? But it's
Yeah.
not what we have to have. It's not. I just don't agree with the seeding part of it. But yeah, sure, it would be nice to have, the two best teams. I just want the two best teams to play. I don't care when they play, to be honest. I really don't. I mean, I'm one of those dudes. I'm going to be at every Carmel game from here on out. But on nights they don't play, like there'll be a Wednesday night, whatever. I'll be at a game Wednesday night because the Carmel sectional is not going on. I want to see good games. I don't want to see, necessarily seeded out games. North Judson sectional. Wheeler versus North Judson, the host school. The winner plays South Central Union Mills. LaVille versus Hebron. The winner plays South Bend Career Academy. Judson looks like they're the class of the sectional. Coach Cheesham's got things going pretty well there especially with the group of seniors that he's got. I mean, Hebron could maybe jump up and get them, but Judson's 19-3, 7-0 against 1A teams and 3-0 against sectional teams. Kyle, you got a fan in.
I do.
Big time, man.
Yeah, I think it's my buddy Niels.
Nice. Westview sectional 35, Cherubusco versus Westview. The winner plays Eastside. Fremont versus Prairie Heights. The winner plays Central Noble. Pretty balanced field. Central Noble having a good year in the wake of Connor Asijan and Logan Guard. They've done a good job of maintaining things. They're 16-6 this year. Westview's 13-7. Dominique, you know a little bit about that program.
A little bit, yeah. Looks like they got the best draw here.
Prairie Heights. Yeah, they do. Yeah. Prairie Heights, but they're two seniors recently committing. They both commit to St. Francis.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Bachelor and
Malone. Yep.
Yeah, I would say Westview got the better part of that draw. Rochester sectional 36. Winnemac Community versus North Miami. The winner plays Wabash. Pioneer versus Lewis Cass. The winner plays the host school, Rochester. I mean, you've got Wabash, Rochester, Lewis Cass, all above 500. I mean, I think
Wabash best draw there.
Yeah, Wabash definitely has the best draw. Yeah, they got the winner of Winnemac, North Miami. Yeah,
And they get a bye.
and they have the bye. So I would say yes. I would say Yeah, Lewis Cass had the roughest draw there. Sectional 37, sorry. South Adams. It's a good one. Adams Central versus Whitco. The winner plays Bishop Lures. Manchester versus Bluffton. The winner gets to play the winner of South Adams versus Blackhawk Christian. Manchester with Gavin Benton. Blackhawk, of course, they're keeping things rolling. I mean, Adams Central 16-5. They definitely got the best draw of that bunch, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Can Lures
Lures-
go in there? Can Lures
Yeah.
go in there and get to the finals just because they're so much quicker and play such a stronger schedule than probably Whitco and Adams Central plays?
Yeah, I think they could. I definitely think they could. I was just getting ready to say that.
Yeah, I mean they're 8-14, but they've only played one 1A or one 2A team all year. And maybe they loaded up on 1A teams, but yeah, them and Blackhawk don't play a lot of 2A teams. You could see all Fort Wayne final. I don't know if Manchester's got enough to get by Blackhawk.
I
Delphi,
don't think so.
Clinton Prairie versus Lafayette Central Catholic. The winner plays Delphi. Seeger versus Carroll Flora. The winner plays Covington. Carroll, defending sectional champ. They got the best record coming in. This is a pretty decent field. All but one team is above 500. Carroll's kind of scheduled up a little bit. They're 5-3 against 2A teams.
They lost to Clinton Prairie by 6 the regular
They
season.
lost that Prairie.
Clinton Prairie, yeah, by
Man,
6.
This is a toss-up. Section
Coach
38.
Peckinpah. He's got a text message to me that I have to return here after we get done doing this. I mean, I think Clinton Prairie got a pretty good draw out of that bunch, right? Well, Central Catholic out of the gate. It's pretty balanced sectional.
That is very balanced. I think that's the most balanced one we've seen.
Certainly without having any. I mean, I think Carroll's the heavy favorite, but other than that, it's pretty balanced. Sectional 39 at Taylor. Blackford versus Taylor. The winner plays Elwood. Eastern Greentown versus Madison Grant. The winner plays the winner of Eastbrook versus Tipton. Madison Grant, Tipton, Taylor, all above 500, all with good records. We've talked a little bit about Tipton, a decent amount. Grady Carpenter and Nolan Swan. Madison Grant, good group of seniors. Taylor, kind of a mixture of young and old. Taylor's got some interesting athletes that I think that some of the schools don't see on a regular basis. I know Elwood feels pretty good about the season they've had, but they may just be like a year or two away from making a lot of noise.
It'd be interesting in that Grant and Tipton matchup.
Yeah. Sectional 40, Muncie Burroughs versus Winchester. The winner plays West Dell. Alexandria versus LaPel. The winner gets the winner of Wapahani Monroe Central. Last year, this was a banger.
Yeah.
I think Wapahani was still, I think they were in it with Monroe Central. This year, Wapahani is the team with the stellar record. I mean, they were good last year, but Monroe Central was undefeated. I mean, Wapahani is kind of the class of this group, but LaPel's got some talent. I got to imagine LaPel's not had the season they thought they would have. They've run a couple of coaches out of there the last couple of years. That's not current coach's fault, but they definitely probably not winning as many games as they thought they were going to with the number of kids they had coming back.
Another break
there?
here.
Yeah, I think they're doing another break. So we're going to do the 1A and 2A section on this podcast. And they're going full-blown commercial now. And then we're going to have a separate recording. So if you're listening to this on the podcast side of it, there will be a separate recording in your feed for the 3A and 4A draws. So look for that.
Zach is following along. He's texting me about some of the matchups. So he's watching soccer and following along. Let's go.
Multitasking.
And that's the nice thing about streaming, though, is you could be at that game and still watch it.
So there's 25,000 people at the game.
Oh yeah, it's
Is that the
women's
Titans
women's
thing?
soccer's crazy in this. Talk about. Hold on a second. I'm walking around now, closing. Finally, time to close the patio door.
U.S. got the win 1-0 over Japan.
I mean,
So he's trying to get out of the stadium, trying to get to the car, or keeping up.
I mean, the women's soccer team is an easy draw. They get a lot of people at their games. And I would venture to say a vast majority of our parents taking kids. But you talk about gender equity and equity in pay and all that stuff. And, you know, as much as I'd like to see everything attached to revenue at that level. The women's national soccer team would be very well compensated in my version of this. They're back from commercial break.
Some more team pictures.
I don't. What team is that?
I don't know. I couldn't figure out the first one.
The first one, yeah. You're a little bit Lutheran Saints.
Your squad's coming up here, Jim.
Elwood was the first one.
Oh, Elwood was the first one. Oh, Greenfield. Yeah, they're at
That's
Meredith's
a living
house.
room,
That's his basement. Or no, it's living room.
Greenfield, yeah.
19-1, baby. Had a good year. I think we're getting ready to move to sectional 41. Yep, here we go. 2A. Sectional 41 at Shenandoah. It's a 5-team sectional. Northeastern plays Shenandoah. The winner gets Union County. The other semifinal is Hagerstown versus Knightstown. Northeastern's kind of the class of this sectional.
3 buys.
Yeah. I wish all teams. I don't know how they would do it, but it would be nice if all these teams sections could be at least 6. Because we've got quite a few 7-team sectionals. I don't think we've seen an 8-team sectional yet. Sectional 42, Eastern Hancock, another 5-team sectional. Irvington versus Eastern Hancock. They play the winner of Cecina, or they play the winner of that plays Cecina. The other half of that sectional is Riverside versus Triton Central. I mean, I kind of hate this. Yeah, I mean, Cecina, Eastern Hancock, Triton Central, all really good. I think Eastern Hancock probably has a leg up. They've scheduled up a little bit.
They just played Newcastle, didn't they?
Yeah, they play Greenfield Central during the year. I think they play New Pal during the year. That's a lot of their losses.
They just beat Union 89-7.
Triton Central also schedules up, though. A lot of 3A teams, but no 4A team. Shelbyville. I don't think that counts this year just yet. Cascade, another 5-team sectional. Sheridan versus University. That kind of sucks for Sheridan. The winner plays Cascade. Park Tudor versus Covenant Christian. I mean, I would say University got what they wanted. They got Covenant Christian and Park Tudor in the opposite half of that draw. I mean, Sheridan's good. They're a year away. They're
Give me a Park Tudor University rematch, please.
Yeah. University, man, they're kicking butt. They're 19-1. They've had wins over Westfield. They've had wins over Park Tudor. They beat Decatur Central the other night. They beat Chittard handily. They've got wins over Roncalli, Brebeuf. I mean, they kind of stacked their schedule a little bit, and they've lived up to it. Sabian Kane is kind of the real deal.
Breakout year, man.
Sectional 44, Southmont. Greencastle versus Park Heritage. Park Heritage is really young. The winner plays South Putt. The bottom half is North Putnam versus Southmont. The winner of that plays Cloverdale versus Riverton Park. Pretty balanced sectional among the top 4 teams. Park Heritage, like I said, 14-9. They're a very young team. Greencastle is a 6-16, but they're also very young. I believe they start 2 freshmen, or if they don't both start, they both play quite a bit. I think I had Southmont pretty high, pretty close to my top 10 coming into the year. I think they've lived up to it. Most of those teams play a 2A schedule, so not a lot to tell there as far as schedule up. Here we go. South Ripley, Switzerland County versus Milan. The winner gets Hauser. The other half of that bracket, semifinal, I'm sorry, is North Decatur versus South Ripley, the host team. North Decatur by far having the best season of this group, but South Ripley has had some success against teams in this sectional. And I'm trying to think when they played each other, if they played each other, North Decatur beat South Ripley by 12, but Kyler's guy, Cole Henry, might be the best player in that sectional.
5 good
Southwestern
records
Hanover,
in this one.
this thing's a banger, man. This thing is
Yeah.
incredible. Henryville versus Austin. I mean, and they're all in the bottom half. Wow. The winner plays Southwestern Hanover, who actually has the best record. But then the bottom half is Brownstown Central versus Pekin, Clarksville versus Providence. So 3 of the top teams in that section on the bottom. I mean, Southwestern Hanover being the host school with a bye and an easier path. I don't know. There's just
That's a dogfight of a sectional.
pretty good draw there. I feel bad for my boy Jake. Yeah,
Brownstown right away.
Brownstown right away. I mean, they should have won their sectional last year. They won it 2 years ago. And then you think, okay, we got our key guys back. We're going to do really well. And then they move Brownstown moves down into their sectional, and then they're in the same sectional with Providence as well. So Southwestern Hanover, I saw them against South Ripley. I wasn't super impressed with them. But they had the best record of everybody. I mean, so in this sectional. But we know Brownstown's played up. They've scheduled up. Henryville probably having a better year than what most people thought. Or sometimes I confuse them with Lanesville, but
Lanesville
North
is not
Knox
having a good
sectional.
year.
Do what?
So Lanesville is not having a good year.
Lanesville's not having a good year. Sullivan versus North Knox. The winner plays Eastern Green. Sullivan plays South Knox. The winner plays Eastern Green. North Knox plays Mitchell. The winner of that plays Paoli versus Linton Stockton. The bottom half of that is probably a little bit South Knox and Eastern Green. Yeah, the bottom half's a little tougher than the top half. So Sullivan kind of got what they wanted. No, game against South Knox would be pretty good.
My boys Mitchell got a winnable first game.
Yeah, Mitchell, North Knox.
Let's go Blue Jackets.
Two worst records going at it. Linton. I mean, Linton's the class of that sectional, but there's some other teams there with good records that could jump up and beat them. We got one sectional left, and we're going to take a break.
South Spencer, 19-1.
Yeah, they've been impressive this year. Tell City, sectional 48, the last of the 2A sectionals, 6-team sectionals, South Spencer versus North Posey. The winner plays Perry Central. Crawford County versus Forest Park. The winner plays Tell City.
Two best teams right away.
Two best teams right away, but I mean, South Spencer's kind of the class of that sectional.
Yeah.
I mean, North Posey's 4-1 against sectional opponents when they played each other. Let's see, South Spencer beat North Posey by 23. So South Spencer's been able to keep it rolling. How many 1A teams they play? They didn't play that many 1A teams, a couple, but they play some 3A and 4A teams. So they've got a decent schedule to prep them. So anything else you want to say before we stop this one?
Sectional 46, man. That one really stood out right there.
Section 46, that's Southwestern
Brownstown.
Hanover,
Yeah.
Brownstown. Yeah.
Dog fight.
Providence, yeah. Man.
Some good stuff. All right. Well, we're gonna pause this. This is gonna be the end of this podcast. There's gonna be a different podcast on your feed for 3A and 4A. So everybody, thanks for listening. Kyler and Dominique, stay here. I'm not ending the room, just stopping the recording. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Cool.
All right, let me get this up so I can see the buttons. All right, cool.
They're going to another commercial, so
Yeah, they are. It'll be a while.
I thought maybe it was surprising Silver Creek just beat Providence by 14.
I saw that. I don't know if Providence anybody missing or what.
I think I saw a box score for some reason. I feel like Casey Kalums had like 9 points and Lovan had like 17 or something.
Kayla may not be all the way healthy.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't think Silver Creek was very good, and they're one game above 500. So
I think if we do this next year, probably should have coaches lined up to come in and chat.
yeah,
Maybe, or maybe we do it after the.
Everyone bring one coach.
I mean, I don't.
Or other
All
media
we're-
personalities, right?
All we're doing is reading the draw. All we're doing is reading the draw. Which that's fine. We're still in the live feed, by the way. I don't know if anybody's still in here or not.
I think there's a couple in here. 2.
Still here. Niels and Steve.
I might be one of them though. So
No, you're
Maybe
not.
one.
I mean, no, they're in here.
No, Niels, I know he's just got this on in the background. He doesn't care. All right.
Hell.
Getting ready for some 3A action. Here we go.
Brian Lewis. Yeah, I don't think anybody's in here. That's all right. Brian Lewis was the one that caught and was sitting by him at the Fishers game last year. He was the one saying it, basically said there was no need for a shot clock. Like, was against it. Like if a team needs a whole quarter to get a shot, the team should have a whole quarter to get a shot. I was like, ugh.
hopefully I'm not at that game.
Man, major props for the show. I mean, it's like, only took an hour. Looked like right on time.
It used to only be an hour, I
Dang.
think.
I wouldn't be able to keep up with it.
I mean, they rattled them off. They used to just rattle them off.
Did
And
they
they had
used to
them
do
on-
it where they had it like where they're actually doing the draw as like they're getting some type of a ball or
Yeah.
something to read it
Yeah, they
off of?
ping pong. Well, that's how they do it. They do ping pong balls, but they were doing them there as the show started and putting placards on boards.
Yeah.
Probably a lot easier now,
Absolutely.
other than any technical glitch that might come our way.
Are we recording?
No, we're not recording.
Okay.
Too much dead space to start the 1A and 2A.
How about Mac McClung last night?
540.
Sheesh.
It's 540 dunk. 540 two-handed dunk.
Yeah. I just like the dunk contest when there's not a ton of misses, and that dude didn't miss. Everything was on the first try. A lot of them was. The only one was Kenny Martin Jr. missed a couple, but I thought that dunk that what's his name had was who was that? Where he threw it up the alley-oop, just threw it straight up in the air, didn't bounce, didn't go off glass.
I didn't
That
watch
was
it.
pretty nice.
I don't
Okay.
ever watch this. I'm not a big All-Star guy, weekend guy.
Dunk contest is
out
pretty good.
I'm going out to dinner. I was going to cook tonight and stay home, but I'm going out. All this stuff I did on my floor, I'm worn out and tired. So I'm going out for dinner. I'll probably go somewhere where the All-Star game will be on. But
I will not be watching that.
yeah, well, otherwise I will not be watching it. I'd like to take a nap, but I'm not going to. I was pissed yesterday. I really wanted to get the floor done today, and I didn't get anywhere with it because of. I'm not going to try to explain why. It's just don't start in the middle of your space. Like I'm flooring in basically 4 separate rooms. My great room and kitchen I did, and it worked out just fine. But you're really kind of supposed to do it in one direction. And doing the den second kind of screwed things up. And I'm not good enough, evidently, to go that direction. So I had to flip it. So there's 2 boards that aren't really attached to anything, which is fine. 2 boards out of 48 boxes. That ain't bad. All right, they're back. I'm gonna get it started. 3, 2, 1. All right, thanks for joining us back here at Courtside Indiana Podcast. We've already published or recorded a 1A and 2A podcast where we react to the draws as they come across. Kyler Staley, Dominic Neely, both joining me again. Guys, how are you?
Good.
Doing well.
It's been a whole 5 minutes since we spoke to each other. The IHSA has just come out of commercial break. They're getting ready to do 3A draw. We'll do the 3A and the 4A on this podcast. We also have our regular podcast that we do each week where we have our weekly features. So if you're driving around and you're looking for some good basketball talk, or at least participate in some decent basketball talk, you got 3 options for you here this week. Plenty of sports to talk about. We're moving right into 3A with an 8-team sectional out of Hanover Central. Boone Grove versus River Forest. Lake Station Edison versus Griffith. Those 2 winners play each other. The bottom half of the bracket is Highland versus Hammond Bishop Knoll. And then the bottom game is they play the winner of Calumet versus Hanover Central. Lake Station, Hanover Central. Lake Station is probably the class of the sectional. Right, Hanover Central is having a good year.
Noel could be they could be a player with Reyna.
Yeah, they've got the talent. They've got the talent level. They might be a year away. They'll keep one of those deals. We'll look for them next year. But Jana Reyna, who moved back to Indiana from Illinois this year, really has added a lot to their roster.
Hanover Central get the best draw there.
Yeah, probably the bottom half. I think anything being away from Lake Station is what any of them would want.
Yeah, their matchup against will be good.
The Knox sectional 18, the 5-team sectional. John Glenn versus Tippecanoe Valley. The winner plays Bremen. Knox versus Culver Academy. Bremen's the only team there that's really not competitive record-wise. The rest of them are. Tippecanoe Valley has the best record. Culver probably plays the toughest schedule. John Glenn, you'd say, Dominique, wouldn't you say they've been a lot better here the second half of the season?
Yeah, Yeah, it looks like
They
they
started
have
the year
been.
pretty. They started the year pretty bad. Was somebody hurt?
I don't think so. They didn't start very well. Then they smoked South Bend, Washington. Kind of a
I mean,
surprise there.
they do play a tough schedule to open it up, and then it kind of evens
Yeah.
out. Moving on to sectional 19, Jimtown. Again, Dominic knows a lot about this place. Mishawaka Marion versus South Bend Clay. The winner plays South Bend Washington. Stevie Reynolds, freshman. Jimtown versus South Bend St. Joe. Chase Koneski, sophomore. The winner plays New Prairie. Mishawaka
Sec-
Marion still the class of that group, right?
Yeah, second round matchup's gonna be nice. Marion and Washington.
If it plays out that way. Yeah, the top half is definitely tougher than the bottom half. I think South Bend St. Joe probably got what they wanted, but I don't think they can.
Best draw there.
Them and New Prairie
Yeah.
both. I think they both have had some decent year. New Prairie, that's where Zach teaches, right? No, he's at LaVille.
Oh, he's at LaVille.
All right. Looking forward to this Northwood sectional draw.
South Bend St. Joe. I mean, you couldn't ask for much more right there.
Get the top two teams in the opposite half of bracket here. Northwood versus Wawasee. The winner plays Fairfield. It's 5-team sectional, so the other semifinal already drawn out is Lakeland versus West Noble. Basically, West Noble and Northwood they're on opposite sides of the bracket. Wawasee already announced a coaching change. Another group of parents, another weak administration. Yeah.
Watch out for Lakeland.
They haven't beaten
Sneaky.
anybody they're 0-4 against sectional teams. They're 0-4 against all those teams.
Hey,
Sneaky.
hey, you restart. You got a new fresh start when it comes to sectionals.
They are 0-4. Lost to all of them.
It's a new season when sectional starts.
Records don't mean anything.
I mean, I guess if by sneaky you mean, hey, we're going to lose to everybody and then play you again. Possible.
Yeah.
Hey, it matters much more.
Garrett sectional. 7 teams. Bishop Dwenger versus Angola. The winner plays Heritage. Leo versus Fort Wayne Concordia. Top 2 teams right out of the gate. Nope, I'm wrong.
No.
I was thinking that's Woodland. Leo versus Concordia. The winner plays Garrett versus Woodland. Woodland is has the best record in this tournament, this sectional. I would say Concordia. Woodland played 4A teams like Concordia does. Zach or Tyler or Dominique, excuse me.
They only play one 4A team.
Woodland does.
Yeah.
Yeah. Concordia does. They play multiple 4A teams. Frankfurt sectional. Pretty balanced sectional. West Lafayette versus Western. The winner plays Twin Lakes. Frankfurt versus Benton Central. The winner plays the winner of Rensselaer versus North Montgomery. Pretty balanced field, Frankfurt. There's 4 teams with 500 or better records. Rensselaer Central has the best record. They had a good win the other day. Who did they beat? They beat somebody the other day that I thought was pretty good. They beat Tipton. Tipton just has some weird. I guess I don't know much about what Rensselaer has, but it just seems like Tipton has some weird losses this year. I mean, Rensselaer's won 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 in a row. But, really, Benton Central's the only 3A team they've beaten.
Western with a real good draw there.
I mean, it's tough for some of who did.
Western.
Yeah. It's tough
Here's
for
our
some of
sectional
those
here.
teams to schedule up. Sectional 23. Oak Hill's winning this, according to Kyler.
They
got the
we don't even
bye.
need to talk about this.
Oak Hill got the bye. Peru versus Mississinawa.
What I tell you.
The winner plays sectional champs Oak Hill. Kyler's sectional champs Oak Hill. Mechanical versus Belmont. The winner plays the winner of Northwestern versus Norwell. I mean,
Come on, Golden Eagles.
every team but one is either one game under 500, or there's 5 teams with over 500 record. This is a great sectional.
Yeah.
Norwell 19-3, Oak Hill 18-2, Peru 14-6, Mechanical 14-7. I mean, it's Oak Hill and Mechanical both. Norwell, all 3 have big time scores. Peru is probably the more balanced of the group, probably the best defensive team of that group. That's just me being a big Eric Thompson fan, Coach Thompson. Quantiqua has Josiah
Ball.
Ball. God, well, I started to say Hill. Holy cow. Josiah Ball. Thanks. Good assist. Newcastle sectional. Not as good as it had been. Newcastle, not the record I thought they were going to have. But Delta versus Centerville. Centerville, a team that fired their coach midseason because they have weird parents and weak administrators. I'm on record. Say it. At my Twitter, JWREAMER, if you want to counteract that. Delta versus Centerville, the winner plays Hamilton Heights. My guy, Coach Ballinger. The bottom half is Frankton versus Jay County. The winner plays Yorktown versus Newcastle. I know Newcastle's 11-10, but Yorktown Newcastle is going to be a good early game. Delta, Coach Detweiler continues to get things done there. Centerville's just a mess. I don't care who hears me say it.
Delta with the best draw there.
Delta with definitely the best draw there.
Jay County had an interesting game over was it last night or Friday night against Norwell? They lost by 1, 35-36. Kyler, one of your games there. A lot of defense. They lost to Norwell 36-35. I would assume if it was 36-35. A lot of missed shots.
Park Tudor in their shiny new auxiliary gym. Westfield hanging out in the 11. They might be at the event center there at Grand Park. Daleville hanging out, looks like a cafeteria at Daleville. Again, I need to see more pizza boxes. What is up? We need more pizza boxes. We need to know these kids are being fed. I guess we're going to hang around and do regionals. We're going to do that?
Is that part of this as well then?
I mean,
after the 4A?
I mean, you guys are gonna watch it, right? I mean, we're planning on being here till 7, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I mean, if you have to go, like Dominique, you'd mentioned something. Didn't you mention you had something definitely going on after we get done recording? If you got to bail out as soon as the 4A is done, that's not a bad time to do it.
Yeah, that's what I'm planning on.
Okay, that's fine. I guess we'll decide if we do this going forward. It is just us reading the draw. I mean, we do get some back and forth on if there's good draws or bad draws.
When we doing our sectional picks?
We'll talk about that. I mean, we're going to record
next week.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Definitely next week. We'll pick time. We can break them up. We don't have to do them all like right in a row.
Commercial.
Soccer referee. They're all officials. It's a commercial for officiating. Ben Davis versus Fort Wayne North on their feed now, as far as showing the officials. We're up to sectional 25. They're just not coming back from commercial break. That's is it Lebanon sectional?
I believe so, yeah.
Or the Danville sectional. Danville sectional. Yeah. Coach Lovell's reading something. we are some nice dead air here. We gotta probably more talkative during the 3A or during the 4A stuff, but
Yeah.
For sure. Lebanon is at the
Lebanon
cafeteria.
basketball. It's like they're at the cafeteria. Yeah, it looks like they're in the cafeteria. Showing team pictures now. Is that Southwestern?
I think so.
They're
I'm
in
not
somebody's
sure who this
barn.
last one
And
is.
had a costume party? What's going on here?
Gibson Southern. It's like they're at a restaurant. These kids, they don't want to have pictures taken of them. It's great.
No, they don't.
This maybe be me. I would sit there stone faced too. Everybody smile. Yeah, we just didn't have that when I was coming through. All right, looks like we're getting ready to go. Sectional 25, here we go, 3A. Sectional 25, 16 sectional, Crawfordsville versus Monrovia. The winner plays Tri-West. Danville versus Western Boone. The winner plays Lebanon. Tri-West definitely like their draw. Crawfordsville, Monrovia, both under 500 teams. Tri-West is they schedule up pretty well, usually. But the power is definitely in the bottom half of that bracket with Lebanon getting the bye. I mean, Tri-West plays a number of 4A teams, although most of it's early in the year. So they got a first-year head. Oh, that's right. Yeah, so they got a first-year head coach Gluntz at Buff. Moving on to sectional 26, Northview sectional, 7 teams. Owen Valley versus Northview. The winner gets Indian Creek. South Vermilion versus Brown County. The winner of that plays the winner of Edgewood versus West Vigo. I mean, this is pretty average sectional. Indian Creek, maybe the best record. West Vigo, the only other team above 500. Northview, I think, has had a disappointing year for what they thought they had coming back. But Drew Cook is still having a fine season. The Zeke Tanus for West Vigo is having a great is he a junior year?
I think so, yeah. 2024.
Yeah.
Indian Creek was a
big
good draw, though.
yeah, the Indian Creek was definitely a good draw. The bigger names on those teams, of course. The
Good
Short Ridge
sectional here.
Yeah, I like Short Ridge's gym. Heritage Christian versus Brebeuf. Winning matters, especially in March. The winner plays Garin Catholic. The bottom half, Chittard versus Heron. The winner plays Short Ridge. Definitely the power of that sectional is in the top half of that.
Yeah,
With Garin
Chittard.
Catholic getting a bye.
Hard to
Chittard
look
got a
great
nice draw.
Look, Miles Colvin is the best talent in that sectional. He could easily go out and propel them to victory. Moving up to 3A is a different animal than 2A last year when they won sectional.
Did they win last year?
They won. I think they won sectional last year. But that Brebeuf draw, they did not. They lost to University in the sectional final. That Brebeuf draw right out of the gate is tough because Brebeuf can really get out and guard people. Sectional 28 at Manual High School, basically Crystal House, but it's Manual. George Washington versus Purdue Poly. The winner plays Cardinal Ritter. Speedway versus Crystal House Manual. The winner plays Beach Grove. I mean, Purdue's having a good year. Purdue Polytech is having a good year. Beach Grove is basically, lived up to their billing as defending champs. They're the king until someone beats them, right?
Yeah, I think they overachieved a little bit this year.
I think they have overachieved a little bit, but it speaks to the level of the guard play that they had, the depth they had at that position last year. I don't know if Ball wishes he was still there or not.
Who knows on that one?
I mean, because they would have been poised to repeat
Yeah, I mean, I
At
could totally
least
see them
be,
win sectional again.
yeah, I mean, that they probably an early favorite to win it
Yeah, they
regardless,
could make a
right?
run here.
We're going into depth on this sectional.
Yeah,
I guess because Beach Grove's defending 3A champ.
yeah, there's a lot of
Sectional
stories.
30, sectional 29, that Greensburg, Rushville versus Franklin County. The winner gets Batesville. Batesville has to love their draw. Holy cow. The bottom half, Lawrenceburg versus Connorsville. The winner of that plays Greensburg versus South Dearborn. I mean, basically
Jeez.
yeah, 6 teams are 500 or better. 4 of them, wait, 6, 5,
Five
I'm sorry,
teams.
5 teams are above 500 or better. 4 of the 5 are in the bottom half of the bracket. Batesville, the only team in the top half with a winning record.
Don't sleep on Greensburg here.
I mean, I don't think you can sleep on any of those teams. I mean, Connorsville would be the class of that sectional just because of the record, the guys they have back, their teams they play. They've definitely prepared themselves very well from a schedule perspective. But yeah, there's a lot of teams with quality records.
Looks like Connorsville beat Greensburg 43-40 this year.
Yeah. Charlestown sectional 30, 7 teams. North Harrison versus Corridon. It's a good game right out of the gate. The winner plays Salem. Madison plays Scottsburg in the bottom half. The winner of that plays Charleston versus Silver Creek. Scottsburg and Corridon, the two teams with the best records in that sectional. But I just look at the experience that both Silver Creek and North Harrison have and think either one of those 2 teams could sneak their way into the finals.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Silver Creek's got a great guard.
Oliver,
Yeah,
you got some young kids coming up too that I think are going to be.
they got a shooter too. There's I forget. His name.
Yeah, Dagan.
Yeah, tough shooter.
Hoffman's pretty intent that his incoming freshmen next year are going to be as accomplished as the 2021 group. We'll see how that goes. Washington sectional, Southridge 7 teams, Southridge versus Heritage Hills, Blake Sisley. The winner plays Washington.
Trent Sisley.
The bottom half is Princeton versus Vincennes Lincoln. The winner of that plays Pike Central and North Davies, who, as we know, moved up to 2A, but then had to move up to 2A, and then decided to play 3A. North Davies 19-5 this year. Heritage Hills 15-7, the 2 best records in that sectional. They are on opposite sides of the bracket. North Davies not an easy game coming out of the gate against Pike Central. They're 13-8. The rest of that section is pretty marginal. Vincennes Lincoln still just can't seem to turn the corner.
That sectional was
what-
at Southridge, but now it's moved to Washington as well.
Yes, because of one of the assistants on the new teams has some disability needs.
Yeah.
That Southridge couldn't accommodate in time. That's good though that they're willing to do that. I mean, that I don't know if they had a choice, but I didn't see any stink over it. Sectional 32, the last sectional of 3A at Boonville versus Mount Vernon. The winner plays Gibson Southern. Evansville Might or Die versus Evansville Bossy. The winner plays Memorial. I would have told you after watching Memorial earlier in the year that they would be a pretty decent favorite. They have hit some hard times here lately, but they've got a talented group. Bossy as usual. You can never be too worried about their record. They just bring a level of quickness that those other teams don't see on a regular basis. Memorial with Ellsberman, Tucker Tornada, Luke Lawrence, It's a good group. I mean, Lawrence comes off the bench and he's just like a heat check guy for them. You guys haven't really seen him play, have you?
Have not.
They are now heading to a commercial.
Get ready for 4A. Let's go.
Let's get ready to go. I paused it.
Okay.
That way we don't have to have dead time.
Hey, I really like
can't
that
remember.
Heritage Hills and North Davies are on the opposite side.
I can't remember what we did last year. I guess last year we did. We just opened it up and we had a bunch of people in there we could talk to. For some reason I don't remember. We paused the recording, Dominique. I don't know if you heard that or not.
What'd you say?
We paused the recording, so
Oh, I had drinking too much water over here, man. I was about to.
that's all right.
Ooh,
I'm gonna hit the
I'm good.
restroom.
That's fine. Go. I got to go back and see what we did last year. I guess I just read it. Maybe I'll go back and listen to what we did last year to see. For some reason I don't think we just read it off. Maybe we did. I know I had other people in here. We had a couple coaches come in. But I also had to deal with the naked belly dance.
4A's up now. Getting ready to come up.
Let's see if anybody's in here. When they come back from commercial, I'll
Cool.
start the recording. All right, here we go. They are just now coming out of commercial for the 4A draw. We're all back in our seats. We took a little pause there. Anything in the 3A? Kyler, you made a point before they went to commercial about one of the 3A draw out of Washington.
Yeah, really like that because I'm really interested in the North Davies and Heritage Hills potential matchup. I like they're on the opposite side, competing in the championship.
You just
North
wanted to
Davies
play each other.
got target on their back.
The best way to play each other is to play right out of the gate, right?
Yeah,
So no
For sure.
seedings.
yeah. No seedings.
No seedings.
Manchester. A tight little room there.
Yeah, it is. Step up their game, man. What team is that?
I don't know that second
Oh,
one.
That's Southmont. The
Okay.
Mounties.
Monrovian in a conference room or something.
Monrovia.
All right, 4A.
Coach Level's looking. What he was doing there. Getting ready for 4A. Here we go. Sectional 1. This is going to be interesting. Oh, they're on opposite sides.
Yep.
Nice. Hammond Central versus Gary West. The winner plays Hammond Morton. Maryville versus Munster. The winner of that plays Lake Central versus East Chicago Central. Hammond Central is undefeated against sectional foes.
Right.
Lake Central's 5-1, Munster's 4-1. Maryville, you can never just completely discount them because they've always got a lot of athleticism that's tough to compete with. If you're just not prepared. East Chicago, they had the most talented player in
Potentially.
Dominique and Murphy.
Yeah.
But he's just a sophomore, so that's something that
Potential.
I don't think he's going to put him on their back. I don't know. It's good. Hammond Central and Munster definitely the class of that sectional.
Nope.
Crown Point sectional. Crown Point versus Portage. The winner plays Chesterton. So the best team record-wise gets the bye. Hobart versus Kankakee Valley. The winner of that plays Valpo versus Lowell.
Valpo got a good draw there.
Yeah, they did. It seems like the sectional is not as tough as it has been, right? Am I missing something?
I would agree
Like
with that.
Maryville, did Maryville used to be in this sectional? I think
I'm not
Maryville
sure.
used to be in this sectional.
Moving along quick.
Chesterton looks poised to repeat. LaPorte sectional. Sectional 3, South Bend Adams versus Michigan City. The winner plays LaPorte. Plymouth versus Mishawaka. The winner plays South Bend Riley. Like to see Coach Daniels get the bye there. Pretty balanced field, pretty balanced draw. I mean, Mishawaka, LaPorte, Michigan City all have pretty close records, 16-6, 16-5. South Bend Riley, 12-9. Pretty even draw.
That's
Other than
very
maybe, other than whoever would have the buys, you would probably say that's how it would be seeded out.
yeah.
Ooh. Elkhart.
Elkhart sectional 4. Elkhart versus Penn, right out of the gate for Elkhart being thrown right to the fire. The winner plays Goshen. Northridge versus Warsaw. The winner plays Concord.
That's a great first matchup, that Northridge Warsaw. Competitive one.
Yeah, pretty even. I mean, I would say other than getting the bye, Penn got what they wanted, right?
Yeah.
They got probably the easiest route of any team I've seen so far.
I think they just beat Elkhart by 60.
Is that all?
63.
I'm sad Zach's not here to comment on this one.
I got comments if you guys want them.
Sectional 5, Fort Wayne Carroll. Zach Carroll. DeKalb, East Noble. The winner plays Northrop. Fort Wayne North versus Carroll. The winner plays Snyder. The only two teams in the sectional with a winning record play each other on the first
Guess
round.
I'll be there Tuesday night.
So that's where you'll be Tuesday.
Yeah. It's at Carroll. Yeah. 3 minutes up the road.
That's where you live. You live on that side of town?
Yeah.
West side guy?
North.
Well, northwest. Oh, you're more toward the center?
Homestead is more southwest, but yeah.
Carroll's northwest.
North. Yeah.
You're in Morelandville. I think his dad's company, the grandfather's companies developed all of northern Fort Wayne. Columbia City sectional, Fort Wayne versus New Haven. The winner plays Southside. Homestead versus Huntington North. The winner plays Columbia City. I mean, basically Wayne and Homestead on opposite sides of the bracket. You couldn't get much better than that. Columbia City has to love their bye though, right?
Yeah. Yeah. That's the other
third
team
best
in
record.
there. That's could cause a little trouble, but definitely Homestead Wayne seemed like the favorites to meet.
Yeah. They'll get a chance to face each other in the finals if they can win out. Getting close to my Carmel sectional.
Getting excited.
Kokomo's coming up
Yeah.
here in a second.
Got the bye.
Oh, you've already, yeah, there we go. Kokomo, you're ahead of us.
Yeah.
Kokomo sectional, West Lafayette or Lafayette Harrison versus Lafayette Jeff. The winner plays Kokomo. Logansport versus Marion. The winner plays McCutcheon. I would say, Kokomo is the class of this sectional. I mean, Harrison certainly has a good record and was off to a great start. They've kind of hit some rough times. They started out, I think, at one point 12-0. Now they're 16-6. They've gotten more into the meat of their schedule. I don't think they lost 4 in a row at one point.
Marion's a wild card.
Yeah, their game against Anderson was not too impressed. They just couldn't handle Anderson at all. I mean, they certainly could get to the finals. Sectional 8. Looks like Dominiqu's already seen it. Carmel versus Westfield right out of the gate. The winner plays Noblesville. Fishers versus HSC. The winner plays Zionsville. Pretty evenly drawn.
Yep.
I mean, other than maybe wanting to buy. I mean, anybody can. I mean, look at what HSC did the other day. Who was
Yeah,
their
no
good?
kidding.
They beat Browns.
They-
They beat Brownsburg.
Yep. And they beat Southport by 20.
They beat Southport by 20. Yeah, and then they turn around and beat Brownsburg. I mean, up to that point, a pretty disappointing season.
You're gonna have to
I mean, if
win
they
a
beat-
couple hard, tough games in this one, regardless of the draw. So
Absolutely. But if HSC beats Fishers, that'll be
yeah,
the way they closed out the year. That'll be like their sectional. I mean, I hate to. Coach Ashworth probably punched me in the mouth for suggesting anything but winning because he wants to win. But if they beat Fishers, they might sign him to a 10-year contract. I wanted that Carmel Noblesville rematch.
I do too.
I don't know if Noblesville can do it again. They will be without Preston Roberts, though.
really.
That
Is
we
he out?
know. He is no longer with the team.
That's unfortunate
Yep.
on all
Hmm.
sides.
Yeah. I'm anxious to know what it is I don't know. I mean that sincerely. It's got up to a rough start of the year. Was suspended the first 2 games, and has never been able to get back in the graces of that coaching staff. So, for those that listen and don't know, I coach Preston in the summer, so I just kind of stay out of it. 99% of the time, I side with coaches, but I've never had this situation. So, like I said,
Talented kid, man.
I'm
Yeah.
anxious to know what I don't know. That's where I go with it, I guess. I did ask, and understandably, the answer was not going to be texted, which that's fair. But I was hoping at least get a follow up, but I didn't. No need to pursue anything till after the season. McClellan's got more things to worry about than me.
We talked about this next sectional. What, man? A lot of winning records here.
I mean, yeah, Sectional 9's a
6
banger,
of 'em.
man. It's it's Mount Vernon's almost all freshmen. Richmond's all sophomores.
That Mount Vernon team's fun. I like watching them.
Yeah, I mean, if they get, they're really not even playing Romani Wells like key minutes yet. So just one of the, and here we go. All right, so here we go. Sectional 9, Richmond versus Pendleton Heights. The winner gets New Pal. New Pal has to love this draw. No offense
Yeah.
to Richmond. Just Muncie
The bye.
Central versus Mount Vernon. Yeah, they get the bye. Muncie Central versus Mount Vernon. The winner of that game plays the winner of Anderson versus Greenfield Central.
And yeah, and
Greenfield-
those two are playing each other. So New Pal loves
Greenfield,
that.
Greenfield Central. It's the one team I think will give them the most trouble because they're just athletic and so physical. They played last year. Anderson took care of them pretty handily. I don't think it'll go that way this year. But I mean, in terms of the point spread, but New Pal sitting up there with the bye, definitely the draw they wanted to get. Obviously, even if they're only going to play one of those teams, but Richmond's still pretty inexperienced, and so that's something that the Red Devils will have to get over. Here we go, Sectional 10, another banger.
Ooh.
Warren Central versus Lawrence Central. Warren Central hot off their win at Carmel. The winner plays Cathedral. Lawrence North versus North Central in the bottom half. They play the winner of Tech versus Addicts. I don't know what to say on. I mean, Cathedral maybe from a record perspective kind of got the draw they wanted, maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no easy games here, right?
No hiding.
No, I mean, the Warren Central LC game is pretty enticing because both teams have had some really good wins and some really perplexing losses. But both teams, all these teams have talent.
Yeah, LN North Central is a good one.
Tech is the one team that's probably on the outside looking in, just because they do play some young dudes. Attucks is led by the sophomores. They're most, their
Ooh.
underclassmen are the most talented kids in their program too. Perry Meridian, Roncalli versus Decatur Central. The winner plays Pike. Perry Meridian versus Franklin Central. The winner plays the winner of Southport versus Ben Davis.
Round 3.
South Ben Davis is undefeated. They've played Southport twice. One time it was overtime. The other time it was a tight game until kind of the end. They played in the county semifinals. Southport has been able to kind of hang around with them.
Hard to beat a team 3 times.
They've got the athleticism and the physicality to hang with Ben Davis. They don't have the Zane Dowdy. I mean, I guess they Limba certainly is a strong kid, but Dowdy's just plays so hard for as big as he is, he also just plays hard.
Pike with the
He's
best draw there.
Pike definitely with the best draw.
Yeah.
Here we go. Plainfield, 5-team sectional. I think it needs to be 6. I don't know how they do that. Avon versus Terre Haute South. The winner plays Plainfield in the semifinals. The other semifinals already drawn out. Brownsburg versus Terre Haute North. I mean, Brownsburg with a couple of interesting losses. The HSC one looms large. I mean, I say a couple of interesting losses. They've lost to Carmel, Ben Davis, and HSC. But that HSC was a shocker.
Yeah.
And they are a very hot and cold team shooting the ball. Has been my experience in watching them play.
Center Grove.
You got that? Is that already? Yeah, you're like 5 seconds ahead of us. Center Grove sectional. The Center Grove versus Greenwood. The winner plays Bloomington South. Oh, I forgot they were in the same sectional this year. Mooresville versus Bloomington North. The winner plays Martinsville. I forgot. Yeah, Bloomington South, Bloomington North now in the sectional. Definitely didn't make sense for Bloomington South and all those dudes to be in the same sectional with East Central. Never did figure that part out.
Yeah.
Bloomington North got the good draw here on the bottom.
I think Bloomington North did get a good draw. I think Mooresville, though, they've got some kids who can really shoot it if they get going. They will press pretty much. When I saw them play earlier in the year, they pressed the whole game. And Bloomington North does not. I don't think Bloomington North's got great guards, so that could be a factor. Moving on to Columbus North, you've got Shelbyville versus East Central. The winner plays Whiteland. You've got Franklin versus Columbus North. Columbus North. The winner plays Columbus East. I mean, Franklin has the talent to win it. That Franklin Columbus North game is probably, the best matchup.
Was Franklin 10-12 last year coming in, and then they went to regional and almost won it?
They were. They were.
I think they were 10-12.
They've got Micah Davis. They've got Dylan Beverly. They've got the other junior shooter, the other junior guard who can score. They've got talent. I don't know why their record is what it is. Here you go, Kyler. Seymour sectional. This is your Carmel.
Let's go.
Bedford North Lawrence, right out of the gate, Jennings County.
Oh
Ooh.
no. That's the best game right there though.
The winner gets Jeffersonville. All of the winning teams are in the top half.
Wow.
Floyd Central versus New Albany. The winner gets Seymour. Floyd Central trying to figure them out. I mean, New Albany got the draw here, right? Floyd Central is very much underachieved this year. Surprised at the record they've got. I mean, I didn't think they would be as good as they had been, but I certainly didn't think 6-15. They were bad before Sturgeon got there. You kind of hope they don't go back to being bad. They do have a good, huh?
Bedford versus Jennings right out of the gate. That's gonna be
Right out of the gate, and then the
gonna be a
winner
good
gets
game.
Jeffersonville. Jeffersonville beat Jennings County.
Man.
Here we are, the final sectional of the night. Evansville North, Evansville Wrights versus Castle. The winner plays Evansville Central. Jasper versus Evansville Harrison. The winner plays Evansville North. Wrights and Harrison, both Castle. Those three teams especially had good seasons. Jasper, 12-9, kind of staying afloat. The two worst teams record-wise get the bye.
Has anyone really separated themselves here? It's pretty even.
I like Harrison's pieces. Wrights, I did not see play this year. I know they
just got beat by Jeffersonville.
They got a different level of athleticism they've had the last few years. They also play Langley, the freshman. Isaac Higgs is their guy. I think he's the leading scorer in Evansville. So they're going to have that. We talked often about who's the best player on the floor in a given game. I think Harrison probably has top to bottom more, let's say this right, top to bottom more talent among those who are getting, have experience in the state tournament. Shane Sims, sophomore, but he had a big freshman year and he's up the ante a little bit as a sophomore. They have let me get their roster here real quick so I don't forget names. Malachi McNair is their 6'6", 6'7" junior center who's actually can shoot from the 3-point line. He's a thick kid. He rebounds hard. Josiah Sloss is a nice, long, springy athlete who probably doesn't have a definable skill set just yet, like a go-to skill set, but he's pretty active on offense. Spears shoots coach's son, the old coach's son. He's now the assistant coach. Eli Spears shoots the ball well. They bring a guy named Brooks Thomas off the bench. He's a thick kid. And he's probably one of the bigger sophomores in the state. But that's where that is. We are all done with sectionals.
We're gonna do the regionals here. Still got 10 minutes.
They're definitely going to do the regionals.
Yeah.
They don't have to be done by 7. It's not like it's TV where they're wedged into a time slot. But I don't imagine there'll be a whole lot of talking as they get to the regionals.
Yeah.
Here they come right now, maybe. Maybe. This is great. Great radio.
Yes. Yep.
You got him.
1A.
My TV's behind.
Yeah, I'm behind you.
Oh, I gotta get to that page. 1A regional. It is 52 versus 50. This is gonna be riveting radio.
West Central Triton.
West Central versus Triton. Morgan Township versus Hamilton. Those are the sectionals. And then you got the winner of 54 versus 55 is Fountain Central versus Tri Central. And then where'd that leave us with? 52, 53, West Central versus Southwood. 1A South, 57 versus 59. The winner of White River Valley plays the winner of Indianapolis Lutheran. The winner of Indiana Deaf plays the winner of Edinburgh. And then you've got 60 West Washington versus New Washington. And then you've got the winner of Lagodi versus the winner of Wood Memorial. I like the new format. I like having the 1-game regional.
I do too.
Yeah, I do too.
And then the 2-game semi-state. I think that does add a little bit more. Gives teams a break after a long week of sectional, and then it adds. We don't need to talk about these regionals. We don't know who the teams are.
Right.
There's just a lot
might.
of doubles.
Well, we'll break. So what we'll do is we'll break down some of it maybe when we do our sectional pick'ems. Although we're going to have regional pick'ems too, but I'm sure we'll touch on some of it. I guess we all have our own curiosity. I'm going to be curious to see who the winner of the Carmel sectional plays, how that plays out. Without having all the teams in front of me, I don't know who these. I can't pick out of my brain fog to tell you,
Right.
who's in each of these sectionals. Some of it we can guess. But I know 4A, right?
Yep.
I guess if I'm the winner of Carmel, I guess would rather not have to play Kokomo until semi-state. Or would you rather play Kokomo 1 game to advance?
Man.
Probably rather play Kokomo
In the regional?
in the regional, and then knowing that you got to turn around and play Penn the following week.
That's tough.
That'd be better than playing Kokomo and Penn the same weekend.
Yeah.
That would go for any of those teams, obviously. I mean, any of those teams capable of winning the Carmel sectional. I mean, I think that's whoever wins that probably would rather play. I mean, the one thing having a 1-game regional does is it doubles the number of regional champs. So I guess you can say, yay, we won regional champions, but I'd rather play the long game. If my goal is to win state, I'd rather have the week preparing for Kokomo, knowing I still got to probably get around Penn. And if you're Penn, you want Kokomo playing sectional 8. Because you're getting one of those two. You're getting Kokomo out of the way. You're also getting away, or you're getting rid of a team that is truly, truly tested. Between Zionsville, Carmel, Fishers, Noblesville, or Westfield.
I think it's about to come up here
Yeah,
on my side.
I'll be disappointed if Carmel loses to Westfield. I'm just going to say that.
It's out there, breaking news.
Yeah. I mean, I think Westfield's had a good year without Braden, in the wake of Braden. But they've had some rough losses here down the stretch.
Gotta have. Really taking into their time on this 3A South. Here we go.
Yeah, I know. I know. We're really just waiting to see what that 4A looks like. Here we go.
So
6
Penn
versus 8. So 6 versus 8.
6. Oh, we got the Fort Wayne. Homestead or Wayne, probably. Potentially.
Yeah, Homestead or Fort Wayne for the winner of the Carmel sectional.
So then
Kokomo winner plays the winner of the other Fort Wayne sectional. Is that how that plays out?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Penn sectional and Hammond Central, they're gonna avoid if they both win their sectional or Munster till semi-state. They're gonna avoid each other.
4 plays 2. Oh yeah, they get the yeah. I mean, those Chesterton. I mean, Urban can flat out coach, man.
Yeah.
He'll steam the hell out of that game. He'll have something ready for Marcus. I don't know if it'll work, but he'll have something. He's probably trying to get Travis Grayson back in uniform.
Right. 10 versus 11, Jim. Cathedral Ben Davis right away, potential.
Oh,
Yeah, give me that.
at
9 and
Southport.
12. So potentially Brownsburg and whoever comes out of that sectional 9.
I like how they
Anderson and
so
Newpal.
they stagger it. I didn't see when the Carmel sectional played or regional played. Staggered it so you
Rewind
can
it.
go to multiple. Yeah, good. You go to multiple regionals. I like doing
4 p.m. is Carmel,
that. Yeah.
Logan Sport.
What is there? Is it 7 or is it
7.
1?
Well, Logan Sport's 4 and 7.
So I can't do.
Michigan
Can't
City's
go-
1 and 4.
So if Carmel wins their sectional, I can't see Cathedral and Ben Davis because they play at 4
Yeah, they
in
do.
theory. In theory, yeah. So I would not be able to do that. All right, bummer. All right, guys. Well, that's it as far as the actual information coming out. Anything stand out?
I mean, a lot to unpack per usual.
Yeah. Yeah. It is a lot to
Was there
unpack.
any of the draws stand out to you as like just the whole seeding versus not seeding thing? Any of them? I mean, we certainly had some sectionals where the best 2 teams are playing each other, but anywhere it's like those are, I think most of those situations have been where they're not like none of the teams that we would think will be great, right? Nothing is too egregious
No.
No, I don't think
happened
so.
in terms of bad draws.
Nothing that stands out to me. Like I said, I have to probably go back and see them all again. They're all kind of running together, but
Yeah.
Yeah, we probably will cover that for our pick'em. Well, cool. Well, guys, I appreciate your time. Obviously, all 3 of us would be watching this show anyway, so I don't think any of us wouldn't be glued in front of a TV or a monitor at some point tonight. But still good talking about it. Hopefully, people listening liked our takes going forward, liked our takes about each section as they came out. We'll figure out if we want to do this again next year. It seemed like us reading the draw, which is fine. But a lot of dead air too that works for TV. It really isn't dead air, but dead air for us. But next week we'll do our sectional pick'em, and we'll do them in 2 different podcasts. We'll have a 1A and 2A, then we'll have a 3A and a 4A. And other than that, guys, appreciate your time.
No problem. Fun time.
yes, sir.
Cool. See you guys.
See you.
All right. Good job.
All right.
I need to go back. I've said this probably 3 times now. I need to go back and listen to what we did last year. Because for some reason it seemed like it was more interesting last year. And I don't just mean because we had other people in there.
Was it because of the belly
I'm
dance?
pretty sure it could be the belly dancers. I mean, maybe it was because we had different people in there and we were asking coaches. I don't know. I have to go back and listen. I have all the videos too. No matter what, even though we don't, like, the videos record also. So I can go back and watch the naked belly dancers.
Peace.
All right, boys. Good work. We'll figure out when we're going to record. What looks good for you guys this week?
I mean, I'm probably good on Sunday or whatever.
You talking about during the week or just?
Well, so possibly. I mean, we could do.
If it's during the week, everything for me is after, is it like 9:30,
That's fine.
like that? It's that
Is
type
that
of
good for
time.
Kyler? Kyler, what night? When does IU play this week?
Play Tuesday night. As far as game, I don't know what games I'm going. I mean, we've got the IU Purdue game on Saturday.
Yeah. Well, I would think maybe Thursday night we could do 1A, 2A, and then Sunday morning 3A, 4A.
Yeah, that works. I got to jump off here, so
That's fine.
let you guys
See you,
go.
bud. See you, bud.
All right, guys.
Yep.
Later.
Does that work for you in theory?
Should, yeah. I think I
don't
can
know.
make that work.
I don't know what I'm doing game wise. Hold on a second here. Let me.
I'm playing it by ear this week. Probably won't go into anything on Monday. Have that night off.
I might go see Traders Point and Eminence tomorrow night just because I coached at Eminence.
I
I mean, there's a lot of games Thursday night, but I don't know.
Yeah, I might want to go out and watch games on Thursday night, but
But we can still do it after.
yeah. Yeah, I'm playing it
I
by
mean,
ear.
Southport, Lawrence Central,
I haven't been
Thursday night.
Yeah.
Lapel Tipton. I mean, we could still, in theory, do it Thursday night after the game.
for sure.
Fort Wayne North, South Bend, Washington. That's a strange one for a Thursday night. That's a haul, man. All right. Well, anyway,
All right,
Cool.
yeah, we'll touch base.